Hello beautiful people and welcome back to my channel. We're back in the sunroom today. I thought I would just throw in a plant care video in the mix of all the garden stuff, but next week I will be back with the garden video. However, in today's plant care video, we're going to be talking about the beautiful, the magnificent Monstera Deliciosa. Mine's is an adolescent, so she's still pretty. I mean, it's huge, but she's still pretty small. And just wanted to go over some plant care tips. Oh, also, I changed my background. Trying to spice things up a little bit. Rearranging my sunroom, got some new decor, new plants. Let me know what you guys think of it. But without further ado, let's just jump right in. So, the Monstera Deliciosa, aka the Swiss cheese plant, aka the split leaf philodendron, is native to Central and South America, and it is known to live in tropical rainforests. It is known as a hemiepiphyte. I think I said that right, meaning that it likes to grow on top of the plants. So in the wild, it usually will grow on top of a tree canopy, and then the roots will eventually hit the ground. And the holes on the leaves are actually called fenestrations, and in the wild, these help with wind resistance and with drainage as well. Since they are tropical plants, they do like to be on the warmer side, between 65 and 85 degrees. So for lighting, Monstera Deliciosa is like bright indirect light. That's going to be the perfect amount of light for them, but no direct sunlight. Direct sunlight will burn the leaves, but bright indirect light is going to be the sweet spot for it. And the more bright indirect light that it gets, the more holes come out on the leaves. For watering for this plant, you can water it 1 to 2 times a week during the summer and up to once every 3 weeks in the winter. Obviously, plants go dormant in the winter time, and once it drops below 65 degrees, monsteras usually go dormant and they stop growing as quickly. So you should only have to water about once every 3 weeks in the winter, 1 to 2 times a week. In the summertime, just kind of keep your eye on it and gauge it. You stick your finger in the soil, and if soil comes out on your finger, then it's good and you don't need to water it. But if no soil comes out on your finger, then you should water it. But monsteras tend to talk to you. You can also tell when they need a good watering because the leaves, I just watered it so it's okay, but the leaves will start to droop, so they'll go down here. And that's a good indication that your monstera plant needs a good watering. When it comes to maintenance of the plant, you want to trim any leggy, droopy, brown, or yellow leaves off the plant. That way the plant can conserve its energy into all the good leaves it has. And yellowing leaves means that you are overwatering your plant. Brown leaves mean that your plant does not have enough humidity. Be mindful that this is a tropical plant. I always have my humidifier going, but it prefers to have humidity. If you don't have a humidifier, you can mist your plants from time to time as well, or put it outside during the rain. You can have it in the bathroom with you when you shower, just to do something just to give it a little bit of humidity if you are having a problem with brown leaves. And then also cutting your leaves does activate new growth, so it's a win for you because your plant gets to look beautiful, and it's a win for your plant because she will put out new leaves for you. So when it comes to propagation of the Monstera, so these right here are roots. Okay, these are all roots. And then this right here, this little green dot, is a node. Okay, so when you want to propagate it, you would preferably have a node and a root that you could cut. So this entire thing, you'd be able to cut actually both of these roots. So you'd cut right down here underneath the node. You can see that right down here underneath the node, and you would take both of these roots with you, and that is going to lead to the most successful propagation. And you just put it in water, wait a few weeks, usually 2 to 3 weeks, till the roots are about as long as your pinky. And then that's when you know it has a good root system, and you can go ahead and transfer it to soil. And also, monsteras get really big, guys. So what you can do, I was actually giving a friend advice on this the other day, but when your monstera gets big enough to a point, it's just gonna start flopping over and going in everywhere. And monsteras are natural climbers. Since they are hemiepiphytes, they like to climb. So what you can do is you can either make a moss pole or buy a moss pole. They usually have them in plant stores, or you can buy them online. But basically you just take a pole, a stick, something, and you take sphagnum moss, you keep it moist, and then you just tie it around with some fish string or with some yarn or whatever you have on hand. Basically just pile up the moss all around the wooden pole, and then go ahead and stick it in your soil. Tie a few of your leaves to the pole. After a while, your monstera is just going to naturally start growing up the pole, and instead of just flopping over and falling down. Or you can also propagate it if it gets too big and have a bunch of smaller monsteras instead of one giant monstera. These guys are literal monsters. They don't get as big indoors, obviously, as they do in the wild, but they can get pretty big. So that's the solution that you can do in order to keep your monstera upright instead of it flopping over. And some common questions are, why don't my monstera have holes in their leaves? And that is because I got this one as a baby, so I think it was maybe 2 leaves. It was like a 2-leaf propagation. So when plants are in their infancy stage, they have no holes in their leaves and they're more heart-shaped, as you can see with this one and this one here as well. And then as they get bigger, they start to look more like this. And like this one as well. Go into adolescence, they will start putting out the fenestrations in their leaves. Just basically don't worry if your plant is still a baby. Once it hits about a year old, that's when the fenestrations will start to come into your leaves naturally, and then they'll stop having plain leaves and all of their leaves will start having those fenestrations in it. And that's it, guys. That's all I have to say about this beauty here. Please let me know if you have any other questions down below about the Monstera Deliciosa. I love it. It is, I mean, just look at it. It's just beautiful. I can't wait for it to get bigger. And thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you next week in the garden. Bye.